Different companies are going to have different setups in how you can do the loan. Some you have to do it in your personal name, hold title in your personal name. Some are basically non-recourse loans where the loan is in your LLC, title is in your LLC. Some loan products are going to be where you can do the loan in your LLC, but you're a personal guarantee or personal guarantor. You hold title in your LLC. But the good news is there's no income qualification.
Welcome to the STR Home Financing Podcast, where we believe a legacy is something you build, not just something you leave behind. And now, here's your host, Jeff Chisum.
Hey, Jeff Chisum with STR Home Financing. So glad you could join me today. Want to take a little bit of a break from kind of our normal content around the 10% down second home occupancy loan and speak to our listening base that they get really frustrated when they hear people talking about conventional financing, because they've been down that road with several attempts, and they just don't fit in the box. It is a pain point. It is an aggravating situation that you're very successful in the business that you've built. You are an entrepreneur. You are self-employed. You take full advantage of the IRS rules in what you can write off in your business. So you know who I'm talking to, you know what I'm talking about, you know what it looks like. That tax return, which is what every mortgage company bases their approval on, it just isn't strong. It isn't what they're looking for. You don't fit in the box. So what is your opportunity? Hopefully, this is either further education or a new introduction to a loan product called DSCR, Debt Service Coverage Ratio. So the exciting thing about that product for that population that I'm connecting with today is we don't look at income documents. There is no debt to income ratio calculation. You're not submitting all of those things that you normally would for a mortgage. So what does the approval look like? So it is your ability. In most cases, this is going to be different with different companies. It's even changed as far as the climate that we're currently in, that you typically need at least 20% down. You need to show at least 6 months in reserves for the PITI payment for the proposed property. You have a acceptable credit score, no mortgage lates. Different companies are going to have different setups in how you can do the loan. Some you have to do it in your personal name, hold title in your personal name. Some are basically non-recourse loans where the loan is in your LLC, title is in your LLC. Some loan products are going to be where you can do the loan in your LLC, but you're a personal guarantee or personal guarantor. You hold title in your LLC. But the good news is there's no income qualification. There's no debt to income ratio standard. You just need that 20% down, 6 months in reserves, great credit score, no mortgage lates. And then from there, it is finding a property that will perform to a level where the potential income will show that it matches the PITI payment. So the question I get all the time is, how do I get pre-approved for that? Well, the pre-approval is really based on your credit score, verifying you've had no mortgage lates, verifying the resources that you have, how that matches up against the purchase price range that you want to be in. So, can you put 20% down on a $500,000 house or whatever that may look like? That's what we're looking to pre-approve you on, because you're still going to need to get a pre-approval letter for making an offer. So we would be able to issue that based on that process or going through and verifying that information. And then from there, it's going and finding the property that will perform. So Where do we get that data? It's going to look different for different companies. So some companies, they're going to require that it's an existing short-term rental where the seller can provide financials to show that debt service coverage ratio is going to be met. So their cash flow is going to match whatever that PITI payment is. Typically, you need at least 12 months of that history from the seller. Is it uncommon? No. Because in these destination areas, it is not uncommon that these properties being sold were existing short-term rentals. The seller understands that. They understand who the buyers are looking to buy these properties and what they're going to do with these properties. So there are a lot of sellers that understand and they are ready, willing, and able to provide those financials. Number two would be rent comps that the appraiser pulls. Now, this product was originally designed for long-term rentals to be done in well-populated areas in cities where rent comps for long-term rentals would be prevalent. And that's why the ratio is so low. If you are familiar with cash flows from short-term rentals, you're thinking 1-to-1. I wouldn't even get up to buy a short-term rental for a 1-to-1 ratio. So we can blow that out of the water because the cash flow is that much greater than a long-term rental, and is why this loan is so easy in this space, in these destination areas. And what we're seeing from appraisers is they are getting the data to show rental comps from short-term rentals. So when we can get that, absolutely blow that ratio out of the water. It makes it the easiest loan that we do. The third, and this is going to vary from company to company, investor to investor, but some will allow on an exception basis to use AirDNA as a source for that data that they need to prove the ratio. So that makes it even easier, and why AirDNA is a easy an exception to approve, because we're not just skating by barely meeting the 1-to-1 ratio. And I will say, there are companies out there, there are products that do allow for a negative cash flow position. So they still give you the ability to get a loan to buy that property, even though it doesn't show cash flow. But typically, again, with these destination areas, these types of properties, we have no problem proving that 1-to-1 ratio. So hopefully I brought you some good news for my listeners out there that are self-employed, that are just so frustrated because they don't fit in that box, that there are options for you. So stay tuned. We want to bring you the latest and greatest in strategies, opportunities, and what's going on in the market. So until next time.
Jeff Chisum is a registered mortgage loan officer, NMLS 673623 for North Point Bank, NMLS 447490. North Point Bank is an equal housing lender. All programs and products discussed on the show are subject to change without notice.